What's going on, people? Look here, basically bringing a review of the Acer Aspire E1 laptop. I bought this on Amazon.co.uk for about £329. That's about €438 with the waste disposal electronic charge here in Ireland. So they had to add on the charge, which is a bit annoying, but still, it's a great laptop. We'll go into the pros and cons and the hardware, the specs, everything in just a moment. But I can safely say, if you're looking for a laptop and you don't want to dwell too much in a review, this laptop is for you. It's a perfect laptop. But regardless, let's press on and look at the specs. So it comes standard with an i5 processor, dual core, instantly a great processor. So all the specs are down here in this little sticker, so hopefully I don't mess them up. So the i5 is 2.5 gigahertz in power and can be turbo boosted to 3.1. It comes with Intel HD Graphics 4000 integrated with 1760 megabytes dynamic video memory, 15.6 inch HD LED LCD display, DVD Super Multi DL drive, which basically is just a DVD drive, 4 gigabytes of memory. That is really good. The 8 gigabyte model was about 80 to 100 pounds dearer, which would have been a lot more expensive in euros. There wasn't really a point in me getting an 8 gigabyte model, purely because it's a laptop, and if I really wanted an 8 gigabyte model of this laptop, I can easily just buy an 8 gigabyte kit off of Amazon for £20, and I still save a ton of money, and I can just do it myself. There you go. It's fine. You can just upgrade it yourself. There's no point wasting a lot of money in getting the 8 gigabyte model, in my opinion. It comes with a 500 gigabyte hard drive. That's a hard drive, not a solid state drive. There's no solid state drive in this laptop, and also comes with a 6-cell ion battery as well, which will last you about 4 to 5 hours on max brightness, on balance settings, so long as you're not doing anything hardcore like gaming or rendering a video or something like that. So we're going to take a look at the keyboard. So the keyboard is not backlit, it's just simple plastic keys. They're quite big, so that's very nice if you have big fingers. They are very responsive and they don't dig too far down into the laptop, which is fine, so you don't get a lot of noise when you're tapping off them. Oh, it made noises. Oh. But yeah, it's very smooth, very easy to touch, and like I said, they're not noisy. They just go down ever so slightly into the laptop, which is perfect. We also have, which is very nice, a Euro key. So you can just press that button and you can get Euro key rather than doing Alt Shift 4 or 5. There's also a dollar equivalent as well. We also have our Windows 8 key and the function button as well, in case I want to put up or down my brightness or my volume, or do something like turn off my Wi-Fi, mute my sound, or just turn off the backlight of my screen as well. So there's certain things you can do with the function key like you can do in many other laptops. We also have a numpad as well, which is very nice. We also have some keys up here for forward, backward, stop, play and pause, in case you're watching videos or listening to music. So the numpad is actually quite nice. It doesn't actually get smaller. It shares the same size as many of the other keys, so it's actually very nice. As for the mouse pad, now the mouse pad may look very smooth, may look like glass, but it actually feels a bit coarse and a tad bit rough. I'm not sure if I like it, but regardless, if you don't like using mouse pads, you can always plug in a USB mouse like I've just done. But there's a separate section of the mouse pad. You may see the groove right there for scrolling. So if you just drag one finger up or down, that just scrolls up and down the page. Very nice, very handy. I love using it when I'm using the mouse pad. And it just saves you using the 3 or 2 finger method for scrolling. It's very nice. So we also have the mouse buttons here. They're very smooth. They don't go that far down into the laptop, just like the keyboard keys, and they don't feel cheap. A lot of laptops out there have these very cheap plastic keys they use for the mouse pad. It really feels wrong, but this one feels very nice, and it's very responsive, and it doesn't make that much noise. Like, there's no clickety clackety, and that's perfect. So we're going to take a look at the inputs this laptop has. So we're just going to fly around to the side. So there's the HDMI right there. There's a VGA, and there's also a USB right there where I am using my mouse. And the microphone and the earphone inputs are right here. You may not be able to see them because it's a bit dark. And there is the RJ45 Ethernet import. There's the plug input. And yeah, I also listed off the video inputs, and the fan is right here. Now flipping around to the other side, we have our 2 USBs along the side right here. Our DVD drive is right here, and that is pretty much it. There's not really many other inputs. So it comes with 3 USB 2.0s. There is no 3.0 USB as you may get on an Ultrabook. But this laptop is getting pretty quick in terms of stats, in terms of being an Ultrabook. Like, it's pretty much scratching on the surface of being one. So I want to take a look at Windows 8. So you may have seen many of my Windows 8 videos before. The one thing that really kind of irritated me when I first booted up this laptop was, a lot of companies do this, so not just Acer, is they slapped Acer everywhere. There's barely any applications or anything on my desktop, or my start button I should say, but there was tons and tons and tons of Acer ones. There was Acer everywhere. There was loads of jam-packed applications, and there was so many Acer programs. Some of them were very useful, like Acer's cloud equivalent of, I'd say, SkyDrive and stuff like that. There was loads of stuff that were very useful, but there was other stuff like video editing software that was really not good, and there was Xbox Live games. There was a lot of stuff that was not needed, and that kind of irritated me a bit. But eventually I got around to cleaning it up, and that's pretty much it. So the display is very HD. It's very lovely. A lot of people get picky because it is a 1360 by, I'm not really sure by the pixel dimension, but it's up there anyway. So one thing I will say that I really don't like about this is the SD input. It is very stiff, as well as it never goes back in properly. And we also actually have our LEDs right there as well. Now the good thing about this laptop is it comes with some useful Acer stuff, like the Acer power button, which I found very useful. So you just click this and it brings up all the power options. You may not be able to see them, but there they are right there. And they are very nice because a lot of the options in terms of Windows are hidden within each other. So you have to go down to like settings here, and you have to go to power, and you have to choose. It's a nice little shortcut put in by Acer, and it's very well received. And there's also some Acer stuff, and there's pre-installed Netflix and stuff like that. I will say there are laptops for the same price that do come with more. A Packard Bell with a slight equivalent to this, with a kind of worser graphics chip, comes with Photoshop and stuff installed. So that was a bit disconcerting when I bought the laptop. But it comes with Microsoft Office. If you're a business person or you're in college like myself, you need to do reports and stuff, Microsoft Office is there. It's not a trial, it's a full thing, and it's very, very handy to have. So I'm going to run some tests on the actual laptop in terms of gaming. I actually have Star Wars ready to boot up, and I will let you know how I get on. I may do a little bit of video and show you how it runs, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I booted up Star Wars The Old Republic and changed some graphics settings and stuff like that to see how it runs, and I can safely say, after fiddling about with the graphics and like the bloom settings and the all the stuff like that, I can safely say the Intel 4000 graphics chip that's inside it, perfect. If you want to do some gaming, nothing too extreme, it's for you. Stuff like MMOs and maybe Call of Duty may run well, but especially Star Wars does run well. I actually am going to kind of move around so you can see there's not that much lag. It's actually perfect. I'm just running around and a bit of jumping. So the FPS is quite high for the standard. I turned down stuff like the bloom settings, which improves the lighting. I even do that on my desktop because it just causes lag, especially with my desktop graphics. I changed stuff like the rendering distance of characters. I turned down stuff like grass and tree settings, but obviously since I'm in a hangar, that won't really affect it. Character of detail is turned up high, so textures on the characters is on high, and shading is turned up high. I turned down shadows because, again, shadows, you don't really need them, and that's pretty much it. So for Star Wars The Old Republic, and maybe WoW as well, because WoW looks a bit, well, worse. It may give you a high FPS. There's absolutely no lag whatsoever when I'm running around, so you can see it runs fine for a certain game. So that's absolutely perfect. I'll do another test with Call of Duty and see how that goes, if Call of Duty manages to install. So we'll see how that goes. Right, so sadly Call of Duty wouldn't download from Steam for some strange reason, but regardless, I think that pretty much wraps up our review. So you've seen that the Acer Aspire E1 is a very good laptop. The specs are perfect, and gaming wise it can do a good bit of gaming, so long as it's not like Skyrim on Ultra, Battlefield on Ultra. It can run Battlefield and stuff like that. If you do tests on can you run it, it will say your laptop will fail. This one failed quite a lot, but that is because of Windows 8 being a newer operating system than the games, and because the Intel Graphics 4000 is not listed on the recommended graphics listings. It's just not listed at all. It's not listed as good or bad. It's just not there. That's why it failed. In terms of the processor, it passes. In terms of the hard drive, it passes. In terms of the RAM, it passes. It passes everything that spec. It's just the fact that the graphics card is not being read as a compatible one. It's failing. So if you go on can you run it with your laptop, be prepared to fail. Just try the game out before you just, you know, call it quits. But regardless, that's the review for the Acer Aspire E1 laptop. Verdict, 10 out of 10, perfect laptop. If you want one that can game, if you want one that can do work, and if you want one that can pretty much do something quite powerful, this is for you. Just keep in mind, it's not an ultrabook. It does not come with a solid state drive, so that may be a con. The battery life may not be that long, so you may have to plug it in a few cases. For example, when I'm in college, I'm going to have to plug it in every lecture and in every class, just to make sure it keeps up throughout the day. So just keep that in mind. So cons: solid state drive, battery, mouse pad's a bit bleh. That's pretty much it. Oh, and the Acer crap that's all over the laptop before you manage to set up. So that's 4 cons out of a good few decent pros. So regardless, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Acer Aspire E1. If you have any questions about the laptop, any queries about the price, the specs, anything like that, hit me up in the comments or on Twitter. And if you want to see more tech stuff like reviews of laptops, hopefully done a bit more professionally when I can afford, like tripods and stuff like that. And if you want to have any suggestions put forward for any videos for Windows 8, let me know and I'll start doing them. And that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, good luck, and don't forget to subscribe because it helps me out a lot. So thank you and goodbye.